What I've got is, as most of you know, I do a bit of brewing, and I've got a bit of gear. So it's very, very difficult to store it correctly, well, without obviously taking up a lot of room. I've tried to build cases and whatever to store beer that's conditioning, especially through the summer. I've built something else to store or condition beer over winter. Anyway, I'll do another video on that. No biggie. But I have a lot of fermenters. It drives me nuts. I probably don't use them all, but I just like having them. They're really good to transfer to secondaries or whatever, just so you don't get that really horrible trubby, grassy sort of flavour, so that the trub's not sitting in there all the time, so you do a secondary ferment. Anyway, those that brew, no, I'll go into that later. If anybody wants to ask me, I'll do a video on that. Anyway, big problem, not really. Just need to get some more storage. I'm a hoarder, but I like to be a tidy hoarder, if that's such a thing. Yeah, anyway, on to the video. I'll show you what I mean. I'm just going to turn the camera around, and I'll probably edit this bit out, but I'll show you what I mean. So what I've got, this is my fermenting fridge here to the right, obviously. That's all my conditioning stock, or let's say stock. It's all my beers that I've had sitting around for a while. There's a couple there from a mate there that's probably ready. Anyway, as you can see, I've got it sort of spread out a bit. So I've got old bottles there, and some of my gear that I use here and there, like my drying tree for bottles. Although I keg, I still use bottles. Very, very handy. Yeah, and that's my sort of brewing kit there. I'll do another video about that later. But anyway, by the by, I'll stop saying that. These things get in the way. Now they're very tall, but they don't take a lot of footprint up. So I've worked out a solution, I think, to store these. It's just a very light welding project. I've got some old steel that's sitting about, old desks from a school, very, very light gauge steel, but just turn your welder down. It's no biggie. It's not going to support a lot of weight. These are very light. These two will back up on the same unit, so they'll sit on top of each other or beside each other. Anyway, there we go. So that pretty much adds up to one, a little bit longer. But yeah, anyway, I'll just show you what I'm thinking, and then I'll do little bits here and there of how I build it. Again, not a very exciting project, very, very simple. If you've got a welder, really, really easy. There's probably other ways you can do it. I just like using my welder. If you imagine that the carpet is the wall, these are the units. I think I mentioned that before, that the carpet, that's is the wall. I've allowed about 10 mil in between each. Okay, there's obviously a bit hanging over the end, but you'll see, oh sorry, that's a bit, yeah, a bit hanging over the end on either side, just the way it worked out. So what I'm thinking is, at these points, is adding these poles, again very light steel. There's another one about somewhere. Yep. So I'll weld those on. Oops, sorry. There we go. I've allowed 200 mil in between each. Oh, I see what I mean. So basically I'll drop down. They'll be far straighter than that. That's a bit ordinary. And I must even those ends out. Anyway, so they'll be 200 apart. In fact, here are the measurements here. So on that 1200 piece that I've got, I've come in 40 to the centre of the first pole. There you go. So that's where that will go. Then I've come across 200 to where the centre of the next pole will go. and then between each one is 110 mil. So that all adds up all the way through to the end. I haven't put the marks there obviously, but yeah, so the thought is welding those on. They're pretty light, so they won't need too much support. Old knees. They won't need too much support. They're really light. So yeah, this is all crappy steel. Obviously, I had sitting around. Yeah, so I'll just start to weld those up. Yeah, and that'll accommodate for an additional. So if I get an additional one or another two of those smaller 20 litre units. Sorry, 15 litre units, what I'm saying. These are all 30 litres and they're 15s, those two small ones. Anyway, yeah, so that's as exciting as it gets. I'll start cleaning up this steel a bit and yeah, try and get hopefully this finished by today. Okay, bits cut. Yes, all 8. Makes sense. Now, I don't know whether anybody's aware, and a good friend of mine made me aware of this with these cutting wheels, or these Ryobi metal steel cutting blades. Basically, what happens is if you push down, oh sorry, I'll try and hold that cover up. If you push down too hard, that blade can actually bend and move. It's not great. If you're gentle with it, so there's a big truck going past, if you're gentle with it, you can just let it sit. But basically, as it makes its first cut, it tries to flail out to the, what you can see is the right. So what actually happens is you get, you don't get very straight. Oh, let me have a look. You don't get very straight edges. Now, if I go to there, actually that doesn't look too bad. I probably did it right with that one. This is an offcut, by the way. No, actually, yeah, that's not too bad. So I was probably careful with that. Well, that was a little bit shittier. You can see there it's a little bit off. Sorry for the focus. But yeah, so just be careful with those. Look, it's not a bad unit. It's price point, you know, price to match for, you know, someone like me that doesn't really use one a lot. I mean, they're all about the same, but you're better to get a cut off or a steel blade rather than these. Let's see if I can hold that back a bit, because you can see it flexes a bit. It's a bit hard to see, but it flexes a bit. But if you can afford to get a steel blade, cut off blade, yes you can get them. They're expensive though. Get one of those. They're noisy as buggery anyway, but they make a nice straight cut. So that you don't have to bother fixing it up later, and you don't have to worry about tidying up as much. But anyway, that's just a little trap for people with these. They're good, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the Ryobi stuff. In fact, you know, you look in my workshop and a lot of my stuff's this colour. The drivers are really good, the impact drivers are great, and yeah, so, but like I said, just one of those things to be careful of. Don't push them down. If you can just let them melt or chew through the steel without pushing them down, it's a good thing. But you know, you use what you've got. So, but look, it's raining now. I'm going to get inside and try and, at least undercover, and just try and grind these other bits clean and make them a bit tidier, just for welding. And yeah, just so you know, that's what I'm using. Just a cheapo MiG 125. It's just one of the Weld Tech, or Weld Corp, sorry, Weld Corp ones that I was lucky enough to get as a present for my lovely wife. But I love it. It's really good. It's not cheapo. It's just low level, but it does and has done quite a lot of stuff. So that's what I'll be using today. Again, you probably won't see me welding because I'm doing all this off my handheld phone. So yeah, and yes, that's my beer kegerator. I'll go into that later, and another one anyway. So anyway, that's what I'll be using today. and yeah, I'm just using just a crappy Ozito for just grinding, and I've got a really nice Makita. I need a 100mm ones, but hey, you know, if I've had them for that long, I'll do the trick. So anyway, try not to make this too long, but yeah, I'll get into it. These are all flap disc, I suppose. So I've taken off a bit of the surface rust and just roughed up the paint. Look, there's a bit of rust there, but it won't matter. Oh, that's probably going to drive me nuts, but we'll do it. But most of it's off. Now you'll note different size steel. They were the cross pieces underneath a desk. They are a different size, different gauge steel. That's okay. That's fine. It will work. But anyway, so they're all roughed up a bit. You know, some of them have holes in them, some of them don't. I'll just weld them so that the holes are upwards or out of the way. It doesn't really matter. It's really not a big deal. So I'll just tidy that bit up that I missed before. And then I'll start welding. Obviously it's thinner gauge stuff, so I'll show you. That's obviously the thicker stuff. And then that's about the same gauge, but anyway, so just have your welder on low. That's it. You know, if you start to burn through them, burn through the middle, just turn it down. It's really not that hard. And obviously turn down your feed rate as well to match. So right, so what I'll do is I'll set up a little jig for this table and start welding up and taking up the joins, so making sure they're nice and level. But before that, I might tidy up the other hole. Trouble with using old stuff, obviously taking all the rust, well, a lot of the rust, it's a bit pitted, a bit hard to get in there. I had to use the steel brush attachment. Oh, let's have a look. One of those puppies to get in there. Be very careful with those. The stainless brush or items of the brush come out and can flick you on the face. Now the issue I found with this, obviously it's used for something else, and look at the quick fix, but it wasn't level. So, well, I mean level, sorry, it wasn't on a 45 or 90 I should say, not a 45. Yeah, so it wasn't on a 90, so I've just done a quick bend. I can pack it out when it's on the wall, but look, I could cut it off, re-weld it, blah blah blah, but I just can't be bothered, and I don't think it's that bad an issue. See the other one down the other end, still a bit of rust on there, I've just got to take that off, but yeah, and I can start welding this up. But look, running out of daylight today, so I think I might do it tomorrow, and yeah, it shouldn't take me too long, I'll say that, and it'll take me all bloody day, but anyway, that's all good. Doesn't matter as long as we're keeping busy and keeping safe. Alright, I'll come back to it tomorrow. I'm going to crack a beer and, well, I'll finish that little bit of rust off first and then I'll crack a beer and catch up with it tomorrow. So what I've done here, it's a bit all over the shop, it's a bit convoluted, but that back post, this is all upside down, that back pole or post steel is clamped to the table, which is reasonably level. I've lined up my outward posts, or bars, let's say, to the 90 degrees, which is pretty much spot on. In fact, it is spot on. And they're all clamped down. Now, the reason I'm clamping everything down, it's pretty much a standard thing to do, because what will happen is when you weld these pieces, they tend to twist and pull, so hence you tack them down first, get them all nice and straight or at angle that you want, and yeah, then you tack them off, and then you go back after they cool down a bit and then finish the welds off. So I'm going to do that to every single one. Like I said, it's probably, like I said, a bit long and convoluted and I haven't got the right clamps, but anyway, that'll do. So I'll start tacking these off, and I'll show you at the end what it looks like. So I put all of the larger steel poles on the other side, sorry, up the other end. Not that it matters, but yeah, that should be fine. Alright. So all the welds are now tacked up and on the right angle, which is the 90. So I'll finish off these welds, give it a nice flap disc down and tidy it up and paint it, and she'll be done. Anyway, I'll show you the next bits later. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's it. All welded up. Only did welds top and bottom. Doesn't really need the side welds. Just overdoing it, over engineering. Anyway, just going to do a test fit. Oh yeah, I had to bend those a bit more, just so it sticks up a bit. Can't carry a lot of weight, but it can carry what it's made for. So yeah, if it was into the if it goes into the wall beams, the verticals, it would be fine, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. It's just to store these fermenters, so I'll do a test fit and show you what that looks like. Okay, there it is. I know it doesn't look level, but it is. So it's not painted yet. Obviously the ceiling hasn't been plastered yet, so I had to allow for that. The only bugger is another one of those doesn't fit up there, which is a real poo, but I'll find a spot for something else. Anyway, so that's my solution. It takes up a little less room. There's all that air above it. Obviously it takes up more of a footprint horizontally, but certainly a lot less room and gives me a bit more space to put all of this stuff. Maybe. Anyway, paint the bugger and finish it off. Okay, it's my pseudo paint rig, just to hang that up on one of the old sandbags that I had back from my lighting kit. Anyway, just a coat of etch primer. That's all I had sitting around. Nothing exciting, but yeah, that'll just make it look a bit tidier anyway. So I'll show you when it's black. It is now black. There we go. That's the bottom side of it, obviously. Yeah. Wait for it to dry and stick it up. Very exciting. Not really, but yeah. Righto, it's all dry. Up on the wall. Finally worked out how much leeway to give for my plaster, which isn't much. It's only going to be about 10 mil for the plaster and obviously glue and whatnot. Anyway, I'll pack everything up and tidy it up, and that should be it. Weekend job that shouldn't have been. Alright. And there it is. Granted, it's fairly packed, but there's another fermenter that will go in there that's being used in there at the moment. And then that bottle tree will probably just stack the other way around on top of those two when they're there. And that's a lot tidier, but yay, some bench space. My God. So I'll be able to use, or go and get some tools that I've had packed away, like my drill press and whatnot, that I can actually use now. Or use it as a work area. Anyway, that's heaps tidier. So, yeah, just a little video, probably not that little anymore, just on how to do it. Yeah, so thanks for your patience and whatever, and if you made it this far, good on you. I don't think I would have, but yeah, look, if you like and subscribe and hit that little notifications thing, so whenever I do a new video, it lets you know. So yeah, anyway, I'm happy with that. It kept me busy for a couple of days on the weekend, and had a bit of a sleep in too, so yeah, I did alright. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Right, thanks.